Okay, so my name is Alison McGinley. I'm the marketing manager for TaxAssist accountants in Ireland. I've been in the role for just over a year now. Before I joined TaxAssist accountants, I worked in marketing roles both in-house and agency. On the agency side, I worked across a broad portfolio of clients from the higher end right down to smaller clients, and we covered all platforms, so we would have been covering a broad range of marketing communications, both digital and direct marketing, PR, the full spectrum. Okay, well, the opportunity to join TaxAssist accountants came up. I met with Greg a number of times and started to get excited about the idea. I had worked previously in some multinationals. I worked for Google for a few years, and the environment here in TaxAssist accountants is very different in that it's in a startup mode. There's lots to be done. You're working with people who are starting their own business, so there's a real level of excitement, hard work too. So that appealed to me, and I went for it. I thought that the whole concept of bringing accountancy out there to the high street and making it more accessible and getting rid of that imposing air that I would have previously associated with accountants was very simple, very straightforward idea, but quite powerful, I thought. So I was impressed with the concept, definitely, from the get-go. Initially, I went over to the UK as well, right at the start, and I was really impressed with how they're set up as well. So I suppose that kind of reinforced my belief that it was the right role for me. So I'd spend at least 50, if not 60% of my time supporting the franchisees on the ground. Now, initially, the franchisees spent a week within their training covering marketing and business development techniques. So we bring them through all of the techniques that we have seen to work for other franchisees, and we equip them with everything they need to start an initial marketing campaign. After that, in the initial 3 months, I spend a lot of time with the franchisees, making sure that their shop front is ready to go and that they have everything they need in terms of promotional material. They have all of their stationery, and they're basically ready to go to market. At that point, we also sit down and write a marketing plan. It's important that they have in writing exactly what they intend to do over the first 6 months, that they have a budget in mind and that they have tracking in mind as well, so that they know what they're going to do marketing-wise and how they're going to track how effective that is or not is, as the case may be. I work with the franchisees also on their websites. All of our franchisees get individual websites. I train them on how to edit that, how to update it, how to promote it as well is a big thing, because social media has come into the marketing mix in a big way for TaxAssist accountants. So I ensure that all of our franchisees are up to speed with how to set up their Facebook page, know how to use Twitter, know how to interact with different blogs out there, and just know how to, I suppose, set a digital footprint for themselves. I'd also work with the franchisees to see what local networking opportunities are out there. Networking is a big driver of business for us in TaxAssist accountants, so we need to ensure that we're in as many appropriate networking groups within the local area, and that any opportunities to speak at local business events are seized, and that we are basically reaching out to the local business community as much as we can. Of course, traditional mediums come into it too. A lot of our franchisees would run advertisements in local papers. Some have run local radio advertisements too. They've worked quite well for us so far. So I would work with the franchisees in planning the campaigns and also in developing the ads that they're going to use, and working with the radio creative. Another big area in which I'd spend time supporting the franchisees, because it can have such a big impact, is in the area of public relations. So I'd sit down and work out a plan with our franchisees around what they're going to do to develop relationships with the media in their local area. So regularly we would write articles here with the franchisees tailored to their local area, and they would get in contact with local media, whether it's the newspapers or the radio, to just try and build their profile locally. And when that happens, it can be very, very effective. It's a learning curve. It's something that you need to be consistent with. But myself and the rest of the team would spend time with the franchisees and making sure that they're comfortable with that initially. The TaxAssist accountants branding is very important. A lot of people comment on how different it is to other accountants, and that's very deliberate. We want to stand out from our competitors. We want to have a completely different image, and our brand proposition is very, very different. So, I mean, the shop fronts themselves, I feel, are a major part in securing new business for our franchisees, and the way they are presented and the branding is a major, major part of that. Social media is a massive growth area in marketing, and it's something that we really want our franchisees to get involved in as much as possible. So in Ireland, all of our franchisees are using Facebook, they're using Twitter. Some of the other ones are even going to the stage of blogging themselves. So they're getting really involved in social media. They're seeing the advantages, they're seeing the networking opportunities that social media brings to their business, and we're really keen to continue to grow that platform. And social media and digital media in general is the centre plank of everything that we're doing here in marketing, for the simple reason that it delivers results and it's where the clients of the future are. In my opinion, the marketing, and of course I would say this, but in my opinion the marketing is extremely important. It's what other accountants don't tend to do, in my experience, and it's what gives our franchisees the edge in their local area. So the fact that they are trained and equipped, I suppose, to go out there and to market themselves does give them a major competitive advantage, and in our experience so far has been absolutely paramount in securing new clients, and that's what our franchisees are aiming to do. TaxAssist Accountants Ireland was launched in June 2009, and since then we've grown to 11 shops. Our older franchisees who've been in business for over a year, are all on target, and majority of them over target in terms of their business plan projections. So we're very happy with the progress of the brand so far. So of course the TaxAssist Accountants head office in Norwich have over 15 years experience in marketing. They've tried and tested lots of different strategies and techniques, so it's fantastic for me to be able to use them as a sounding board, to ask their opinion on different strategies that we're considering. It's been invaluable. I think the marketing and entire business model has transferred very well from the UK to Ireland, and there was work involved at the start in making sure that we had everything adapted to the Irish market, but the concept, the branding, the brand proposition has worked fantastically well in Ireland, has transferred very, very well, and I would certainly think that that would be the case in other countries. Well, my long-term aim is to grow the brand in Ireland, to establish the brand as the one-stop shop for accounting and tax advisory services for small businesses in Ireland. Well, for anybody considering becoming a TaxAssist Accountants franchisee, I'd say first of all, come and speak to us, have a chat with, an initial chat with both myself, Greg and Roddy. After that, I'd say it's very important to talk to the existing franchisees, particularly in areas that might be similar to where you're considering opening up a franchisee, and they'll give you the real story. They'll talk through their experience, the highs, the lows. So I would strongly encourage people to do that. And I'd also encourage people to look closely at the business model and to understand exactly what it is that we do differently to other accountants.